I'm going to start this video with a smile on my face, but the reality is I'm dying inside. The fact that I missed the bottom of crypto, the bottom of Bitcoin, really pisses me off given the fact that I was here for so long, watching every step of the way, backing up the truck when I thought was the low, but it clearly wasn't. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what my crypto buying strategy is, where I think we're at in the cycle, and why the bottom is into the market, but it's not too late to build a position. So if you're interested in what my thoughts are, definitely keep watching. Hey guys, my name's Ravi and welcome back to Personal Finance with Ravi Sharma. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because I talk about real estate, cryptocurrency, and financial freedom. Now, cryptocurrency is something that most people will avoid. At this point of the video, if you've even clicked on it, you're like,
I don't really want to know about crypto, it's all a scam.
Now, you've got to counter trade your emotions. And I say that because I understand it in real estate, but I clearly did not execute when it came to crypto. I kept believing that we would see more downside risk. Now, I'm going to go out and say, look, I'm not going to be so harsh on myself because yes, volatility in crypto absolutely can kill you, but it can also give you life-changing wealth. Keep in mind, because of the volatility, some people absolutely love it. Some people think it's just gambling with a Ponzi scheme, and then others think that it's just not for them. And I think this comes down to your mindset and it comes down to your risk tolerance. If you're someone that's fairly risk averse, this isn't the video for you, and it's probably not something you want to be investing into. Equally, I'm not a financial advisor, and nor would any financial advisor probably give you that advice to say,
yeah, you should get into crypto.
Now, let me walk you through where we're at in the cycle, why I'm at this point where I'm crying inside, but I'm also really looking forward to the next 18 months, and how I still think it is possible to get your 10, 15x, which sounds absolutely ridiculous, but believe me, I'm leaving way before that. Now, what we're going to look at is the price of Bitcoin and see where it's actually come from. You might be someone who has been following crypto, sort of knew about Bitcoin, and then has been out of the market for the better part of like a year or two. And now you're going, is that really the price? Because I remember it was closer to about 15 or 16K, and you're telling me now it's gone up and it's like 38,000. And this is USD, by the way. So it is definitely much higher when you convert it to AUD. So what we've seen so far is we've seen a couple of cycles. Most people came into this cycle being 2017. That's when I was around. And then I basically walked away from the market thinking, well, this is all over. It was fun. I lost a bunch of money and I have no interest in coming back. Until of course we got to 2020. We had the pandemic crash. Everything was crashing. I went heavy into real estate and I should probably have looked at crypto at that time, but I didn't. And then I started seeing a lot more videos, had a few friends pop up and start talking about crypto. And I got in again in Jan of 2021. And as you can see, Jan 2021 was a fun time because you could pretty much put money in and in a couple of days you were making like 2x or 3x, and it was fantastic. But with that comes a lot of risk because when you're getting into the market here, and really we don't know what happens after that point, but now that we've gone through it, we can see it went up to about 61 to 65K. And if you had just bought Bitcoin at that point at say 36, 37,000, which actually happens to be the price right now, you would have gone on to make probably about 80 to 90% in a period of about 3 months, which sounds pretty crazy, and it really is. But if you were to just zoom out and look at where you had just come from, being the pandemic drop, coming to here at about 5,000 and going up by about 12x, buying here is not the right opportunity. What you want to be doing is when it's boring, when everyone's calling it dead, when everyone's calling it a Ponzi scheme, that's when you want to be getting in. So we fast forward and say, okay, let's say we got wrecked in the last cycle, or we didn't even know about the last cycle. And now I'm watching this video by Ravi. I've heard that all of these exchanges have gone down. There's fraud cases, there's people going to prison. Yet the price of Bitcoin has gone up from about $15,000 to now $38,000 during a time where everyone's been calling for a recession. How is this possible? And I've got videos on this channel where I publicly said that I was selling Bitcoin, and I was pretty much selling in and around sort of here, around $40,000 to $45,000. I'd missed the top and I was like, okay, I've got to accept that I mucked up here. And I took my losses. And thank God I did, because what followed after that would have absolutely destroyed me mentally, and I just walked away from the market. Now, what I started doing in and around 20 to 25K USD, I started nibbling at Bitcoin. I was like, look, it's 50% off from where I sold. So for me, I can get twice as much now, even if this is not the bottom. And then I continued DCAing for a little bit, and then I realized that there was this real fear of a recession and things playing out. And I've got PTSD from the cycle I've just gone through and said,
hey, I could probably lose a lot of money here.
So I saw calls everywhere, and I started following some people that seemed really smart, and they presented really logical arguments, which I had agreed to. And I said, okay, if they're suggesting we could go down to $10,000 or $12,000, let me now call it. I'm not going to sell anything, but I also won't buy anything. And what followed was we saw prices at 15 to 15,500. 38,000. And I thought, yeah, this is playing out exactly like I wanted it to. Except after that point, all we've seen this year in 2023 is prices have higher highs and higher lows. And that brings us to today, where we're at $38,000. I'm here going, maybe I've missed the bottom and I'm crying inside, but I'm still very excited for the next 18 months. And I'll tell you why. Because although we're looking at Bitcoin as being the biggest player in this crypto market, it's not the only play. It's not the only tactic you have when it comes to a crypto bull cycle, especially if you've got plans and have been wrecked a few times. You get some really, really expensive education as part of it. So while this looks absolutely impressive, going from 15.5K to $38,000, let me show you a couple of other things that would actually start blowing your mind. At this point, you're probably aware of another altcoin called Solana, and at the moment, it's holding 6th position as the highest cryptocurrency by market cap. What we saw about a year ago are prices closer to less than $10 USD. And what we've seen are prices now, and that's correct, yeah, $58. So it's pretty much done like a 5x in the period of the last 11 months. And what you can see is it pretty much went sideways for a long time until it took off. And this here is how a crypto cycle basically works. Is you'll have periods here where it's going to zero, max fear, it's dead, nobody's gonna use this, to a period of consolidation where people that are buying here are the ones that get rewarded later on. And then you see prices absolutely take off out of nowhere, and you think at that point it can never end, and you most likely will buy the top only to see prices drop by like 80 or 90% again. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So if you're in this situation where you're like, okay, I am in the same boat as Ravi. What is Ravi doing? I'm going to share with you what exactly I'm doing. But if you're new to crypto and you don't have any idea in Australia of how to buy crypto, definitely go check out this video. It's a step-by-step process of the easiest way to do it. And the best thing that you could probably do is say, okay, I'm going to set up a recurring buy. It goes in there, auto invests for me, so I don't have to worry about it. In that video, you can go check it out. And I've also got a link in the description that gets you started with a sign up bonus as well. So if you use the code down below or use the link there, you'll be able to get a bonus when you sign up. So we covered off Bitcoin and it's gone up by like 100%. You then see Solana, an altcoin that's gone up by like 5x. There are other coins that have gone up by 15 to 20x, which is absolutely ridiculous. And again, I wasn't in any of them. Yes, I've got some Solana. Yes, I've got some Bitcoin, but clearly not as much as I would have loved to. But is it over? And that's the question you got to ask yourself. Is if we look at cycles and we look at what's happening, what's on the horizon, we've got a Bitcoin ETF that's been filed by numerous companies, including BlackRock, that could possibly be approved in Q1 of 2024. In addition to that, you have the Bitcoin halving, which happens every 4 years. And traditionally what we've seen is after the halving, we see Bitcoin go on a run, we see altcoins follow, and then you have a mania phase for the next like 12 to 18 months. If this cycle is to play out the same way, and there's no guarantees that it does, but if it does play out the same way, there are chances that you could probably do a 500% to 1,000% move on your actual investment. Now, are you going to sell at that point? Well, that's a different story. And are you in the right projects? Because trust me, not every project is going to do the 10, 20, 30x. You might just be buying the one that's an absolute dud, and then you get FOMO and you go across to another project because it's already started moving. I can tell you now that over the last 30 to 45 days, I've actively been buying aggressively. Apart from my existing portfolio in Bitcoin, I've gone out into niches that actually make sense to me. So if you're interested in more crypto content and actually want to know what projects I'm looking at, what does my watch list actually look like, then definitely leave me a comment down below saying watch list, and I'll definitely make that video for you guys as well. I still think we're very early in this actual cycle, and it depends on your strategy. What do you want to get in? What do you want to get out? And are you going to have the discipline to follow through? Do you have PTSD like me, who's going to sell way earlier than the top? Or are you someone that's going out there, going through this for the first time? If you are, definitely get educated, because it's a very expensive learning if you do it the wrong way. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.